in that room. Apologies for a slight delay. We got stuck in a bit of traffic on the way here. We appreciate every single one of you being in that room. Thank you so much. Please let us know if the audio is okay. We had audio issues last time. Let us know if the audio is okay. Please double tap the stream, like, share, subscribe, and let's get the comments going. We are descending right now on a slaughterhouse, guys. Put one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan. You're open to this conversation, free. If you don't care about animals, a slaughterhouse is about 100 meters ahead of us now. I want a disclaimer, first of all, by saying that today we are here for a peaceful protest, our right to assembly, not to cause alarm, harassment, distress, or any form of intimidation. We intend to stay on public land and we intend to keep this lawful. Our second disclaimer is that we are not here to clash with the public. We're not here to shout at you, call you names, and clash and be horrible to you. We're here to bring you alongside us, to turn your head against the industry that has lied to you. So guys, them disclaimers out of the way. Put one in the chat if you're vegan already. Put two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation, and free if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are now 50 meters away from the slaughterhouse. I can smell it from here already.
All right, we've got Martin in the room. Thank you for being here,
Hey guys.
James. Real Meebo, Metal Vegan. Thank you, Owen. Thank you so much, guys,
Legends.
for being here.
Legends for being in that chat.
And Marissa.
Absolute legends, guys. Please double tap the stream. Let's see. Oh my God, it smells so bad.
Oh,
It smells so bad here. Let me see which way the camera's pointing. Where's the camera? Yeah, exactly. Straight on us. They've seen us immediately. They know that we're here. I bet the security guards are out here already. Guys, they're killing cows in this very facility here today. Dairy cows and beef cows in this very facility. Yeah, security's here.
yeah.
Security coming. We're here. We're not leaving.
Yeah.
We're not leaving. The whole time that this happens here, we're not going anywhere.
2 security guys here today.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's show them inside. No cows being offloaded. There is a truck there being cleaned out. This is that tiny little security guard who gets very triggered. Guys, one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to these conversations and free. If you don't care about animals, let us know in the chat where you are, 1, 2, or 3. Now we're just here. We're just going to get set up, so excuse the camera shaking around for a little bit. This slaughterhouse right here, they kill cows, dairy cows and beef cows. The reason why I say dairy cows and beef cows is because the industry hide from the consumer that them two breeds of cow are separate breeds of cow. One is exploited for her body, for their body, their flesh, and one is exploited for their secretions. But the industry will never tell the consumer that. This is why we are here today. We're here today to force a transparency that the industry will not show the consumer.
Second
One in the chat if you're vegan, but two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation, and 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, please like, share, and subscribe. Now we're here also today in collaboration with Animal Aid, and if you go to the 3 dots in the corner, you can go to Animal Aid's website and you can see the report done by Animal Aid on the FSA findings that were found here back in June 2025. Go and have a look at that report. It was absolutely shocking to see that the FSA came here and they found 6 major non-compliances and 18 minor non-compliances. Go to animalaid.org.uk. You can see Animal Aid's main website too. But go and have a look at that report done there. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open these conversations, free. If you don't care about animals, double tap the stream, please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, our objective here today is to come alongside the consumer, come alongside you and turn your head against the industry that have lied to you. If you're currently a number 2, if you're currently a kind and compassionate person who does care about animals, but you're not vegan, the industry has done an amazing, amazing job of lying to you, to indoctrinate you and condition you to believe that what you pay for, firstly, is necessary, and secondly, is ethical or humane. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to these conversations, free if you don't care about animals. 1, 2, or 3, double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. Now let me tell you, this certainly is not ethical, and this certainly is not necessary. These are for optional products. This violence that's happening behind me right now is all for optional products. Cheese, dairy, chocolate bars made from their breast milk, burgers made from their bodies. They're all optional products. This does not have to happen. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to these conversations. 3 if you do care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. If you stay on this stream for more than 15 minutes today, you will leave this stream a different person because you will have the chance to be educated. Any non-vegans who are compassionate at the moment are uneducated on animal ethics and animal rights. They do not know what happens because the industry, from a young age, you've been indoctrinated and conditioned to believe a lie. Just like you were told Father Christmas and the Tooth Fairy were real, It's exactly the same as what the industry have done to you. They've told you that farmers are the backbones, farmers are the pillars of the community. Let me tell you right now, anyone farming animals are the scumbags of the community. In my opinion, they should be in prison for what they do to the animals. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan. If you're open to these conversations, three if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. Guys, we're here today to do one thing. Our objective is to bring you, the consumer, the reality and the truth. We're not here to lie. We don't need to lie. We bring a camera and we live stream. The industry have to pay millions and millions and millions of pounds, billions of dollars to lie to you, to keep you indoctrinated in conditioning, so you don't critically think about this issue. We turn up with one camera and the secrecy tightens. This very building behind me right here, this is a slaughterhouse. This is an ABP slaughterhouse where cows are brought here to be executed for the optional products that I'm talking about. Put one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to these conversations, and three if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream as you come in. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications, because we go to slaughterhouses all over the UK every single week to show you, the consumer, the reality and the truth. If these industries will not be transparent and honest, then we will force transparency. We will force the industry to show. Three security guards here today. Now, this gate behind me will now be put onto a manual runner. This gate is usually on an automatic system, but these security guards now have to push and pull this gate. Why? Because it's faster. It's faster for them, so the consumer has less of an opportunity to see the truth. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan. You're open to these conversations. Free if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. Now, ask yourself, if what happens in this slaughterhouse is so humane and ethical, why is there such lengths achieved to hide it from you? Why is there such secrecy to hide this from the truth, to hide the truth from you, the consumer? The reason being, because, and number two, when you're a good, kind, compassionate person and you have a good heart and you see animals going inside here for the last time to die, what do? You take personal accountability and you remove yourself from the very industry. You go vegan. It's simple. Anyone with a good heart, when they see the message about animal rights, goes vegan immediately on the spot. There's no grey areas. There's no reducitarianism. There's no welfare. This is simply animal rights, animal ethics.
Is this halal?
No, this is not halal slaughter. This is a stun slaughter facility. But I asked you, what is the difference between halal and a stun slaughter? Does it matter? If I said a prayer before I executed you, would it make it okay? If I shot you in the face before I slashed your throat open, would it make it okay? At the end of the day, these animals are having their lives taken for optional products. There is the rights violation. There is the injustice. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation with an empathetic and compassionate heart. Three, if you don't care about animals. We're going to show you up over the fence here of a slaughterhouse. Now, what you're looking at right now, this is a factory farming truck on the left. There would have been hundreds potentially of cows in there, dairy cows and beef cows. They would have been brought into off the back of that truck into what's called a layerage. They stand there and they wait until they get killed and brought onto the kill floor. And from that kill floor, they'll be forced forward and be executed. If you go onto Joey Carvstrong's YouTube channel and go and watch what happens to these deer cows with his latest expose on that slaughterhouse, it's absolutely harrowing. I cannot put into words just how heartbreaking it is when you witness animals inside these very facilities. It's absolutely stomach turning. It literally, I can't, how would you describe it? I can't describe it.
The worst thing on
It's
this
the worst thing ever. Guys, one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, be open to these conversations, and free if you don't care about animals. I'm going to swap in with Mel now and let Mel take over for a little bit.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, so as we arrived today, we could hear cows crying the moment we got out of the car, crying from the back there. They cry inside these places called slaughterhouses, which is what is behind me right now, guys. Number one in the chat if you are vegan. Put a number two in the chat if you are a good person, you're open-minded, but you're not vegan yet. And number three if you're anti-vegan. Double tap that screen and please subscribe. I saw a lot of people in the chat saying they love animals, but they eat food. Yeah, we love animals and eat food. Animals are not food. We don't see them as a resource, food. Skin, we don't wear their skin. I don't pay for things tested on animals. My makeup's all vegan. Vegans are truly people who are against the exploitation of animals, and they don't pay for it. Whereas if you say you love animals and you're not vegan, then you are the biggest hypocrite. But you may not know the industry. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap the screen, subscribe. I'm at a slaughterhouse today. We're in collaboration with Animal Aid. They have done an FSA report. They reported, on the FSA that came here and found breaches at this facility. There was, I think, 6 major breaches and 18 minor breaches. Have a look for yourself in the description of the breaches happening at this facility. Now, we are not here for welfare. We're here for abolition. This place should be shut down. Every single slaughterhouse should not exist. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap that screen and please subscribe. We weren't always vegan, and that's why we're here, because I was so sad when I found out I pay for slaughterhouses. I had no idea that every single cow in the dairy industry goes to a slaughterhouse purely because the farmer wants to take their milk and sell it to you. Was there something there?
People saying that cows aren't killed for dairy milk. It's like they just produce milk.
Yeah, so a lot of people say, like, when we're here, they say, oh, I'm a proud vegetarian. Vegetarian is basically like a barrier that the industry created to make you still pay for animal agriculture. You still pay for animals to be stabbed in the throat for dairy, for eggs, for animal testing. You may go to zoos. Vegetarian's just a diet. It's nothing like vegan. Those people may have been trying to do the right thing, but vegetarian's been stuck in the way. Vegan is the right thing to do. If you're not vegan, then you're an extreme, a person who pays for animal abuse, torture, rape, murder, and kidnap from their babies. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you are anti-vegan. That's like a farmer, someone who loves to kill animals. They're real scumbags, number 3s. And put number 4 in the comments if you think number 3 should be in prison for what they do to animals. Double tap the screen and subscribe.
What are people going to see here today?
Yeah, so please stay on this live stream. I'm at a slaughterhouse, but we're here to live stream the animals. We're here just to defend the animals from people who are currently paying for animal products. If you are paying for milk, like dairy, eggs, leather, wool, fish, meat, you will be paying for slaughterhouses. You will be paying for torture, abuse, kidnap, forced impregnation, mutilation of babies, gas chambers. But you can be vegan and remove your support from it. When these industries no longer have support from the public, they collapse. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen and please subscribe. I'm at a slaughterhouse today. I used to pay for slaughterhouses. I used to pay for animals to be tested on. I used to pay for horrific things. I used to pay for eggs, which meant I paid for male chicks to be blended up alive, and every single chicken in the egg industry to go to a slaughterhouse to be killed.
What's that big truck behind you?
Yeah, so the truck you can see behind me is a factory farm truck that has picked up cows from a farm. Could have been from a local farm, anywhere like that, and been taken to a slaughterhouse behind me. They have just unloaded the animals into what I call the dungeon of hell, which is called a lairage. In my opinion, it's a dungeon because that is what it is. They then, when the kill floor is ready, when the knockbox is free, they will be forced into a knockbox where they cannot escape. So the person inside will bolt gun them in the head. If they do, there's breaches. They probably don't. They probably do, like you don't know. But the bolt gun is not for the animal. It's for the worker. It just makes the animal fall to the floor so the animal can't fight back whilst they stab them in the throat, hang them up by one leg and they bleed out. That's what happens here for dairy, for burgers. Just be vegan and none of this happens. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen and please subscribe. We come to slaughterhouses all the time. We go and investigate farms. Go to our main channel, It's Mel and Steve. It looks like this channel, but with a purple icon. You'll see who we meet in the farms. You'll see that we actually took a non-vegan undercover inside of a standard British pig farm. Horrific, horrific. Go and see for yourself. It's on the playlist, 3-part playlist. Guys, we're not here to rage bait. We're not here to hate on you. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen
vegan?
And please subscribe. The dairy industry made me vegan. An incredible activist called Joey Carbstrong, who has just released an insane investigation on his channel. Go and look at that. Go and look at it. It is the worst thing I've ever seen, what he has just released. That's Joey Carbstrong. Now, he was debating someone about the dairy industry, and I was like, why would you debate about the dairy industry? Like, cows just produce milk, right? They just eat grass and produce milk. That's genuinely what I thought for 26 years. He then explained how a cow is a mammal, just like you and your mother. She needs to be pregnant to produce milk. Guys, before I continue that story, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap the screen. Please subscribe. So he was explaining what they have to do. So the farmer has to force that cow to be pregnant. She then carries her baby for 9 months, just like your mother did. When the cow gives birth to her baby, the farmer takes her baby away as soon as possible. Soon as possible. She then will mourn out for her baby, cry out for her baby. She's then intensively milked over and over. This happens again and again and again, around 4 times until she can no longer stand up or no longer produce babies anymore. And then the cows, all of them, end up in a slaughterhouse. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap that screen, please subscribe. And now what number 4's for anyone who's gone from a number 2. Put number 4 if your mind has been opened and you're thinking about this right now.
The chat's moving fast, but I think someone called Star just went vegan.
Amazing. Thank you for going vegan for the animals. This is the biggest war the world has ever seen on the biggest battlefield, and it's urgent that you take your own accountability, be vegan for the animals, because if you're not vegan, you pay for the worst animal abuse, torture, and murder that this world has ever seen. Vegans are normal people. They're normal people who just don't fund the industry. If you're not vegan, you're on the extreme animal abusing side. But I'm not hating on you. You may not know. I used to be on that side as well. In my actions, but in my heart, I was always vegan. I was always against animal oppression. Now I'm an animal rights activist, so I'm vegan, but I'm an animal rights activist. I'm trying to stop this injustice, which is why I'm here today, showing you guys. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 if you are anti-vegan. Double tap the screen. Please subscribe and like.
People are saying they're carnivores.
No, you're not a carnivore. We're not gonna go into that. Like what?
It's as simple as that, isn't it? No,
yeah,
you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
It's actually stupidity to think you're a carnivore.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to wash over that because those people are number 3. They don't have a brain. They can't think for themselves. They've been brainwashed. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen and please subscribe. We do not need to do this to animals. We thrive on a plant-based diet. We have no necessity to do this to animals. We morally should be vegan at the very least. Every single child is born vegan in their heart. Then it's the world that conditions that out of them. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, and number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen, please subscribe. Behind me is a slaughterhouse. I've already heard cows crying behind me, likely mothers from the dairy industry, grieving mothers who have had their babies taken, kidnapped from them and killed. Yet they kill males in the dairy industry because they do not produce milk. They're classed as waste. Exactly the same in the egg industry. If you are consuming eggs, every single chicken has come from a hatchery. The male chicks are not classed as profitable, so they end up going into a blender, an open blender alive, or they're gassed to death. At 18 months old, those chickens who have been genetically modified to lay 300 eggs a year, should be laying 12, will get sent to a gas chamber. The majority of them go to a gas chamber as well. This place is hell. This is hell on earth. And if you're not vegan, you are paying for this. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen and please subscribe. Here you're going to be seeing, stay on this live, because we're going to show you who goes inside this place today. We're going to show you the animals who are hidden in the dark. I'm going to bring that to the light today. Now, I hope the weight of the animals going in here weighs heavy on your shoulders, because when you feel guilt, when you feel sadness, it's when you change. It's as simple as not paying the industry to hurt animals for you. I'm just going to switch in with Steve quick.
Yeah, well said. Exactly that. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to these conversations and free to take care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please go and make sure you like the likes. Bring in the algorithm, brings in the viewers. So when the animals turn up here today, you're going to get to see them. We're here today to force transparency. Remember, what we're telling you is no propaganda. What we're telling you is no lies. This is the industry that has to tell you the propaganda and lies, not the vegans, not the animal rights activists. We come and we simply tell you the truth. When we tell you the truth, guess what? Number 2s, non-vegans with empathetic, compassionate hearts, guess what they do? They become a number 1. It's as simple as that. If you're a good person and you hear the message and you see this with your own eyes, you remove your personal accountability for the violence happening in the industry behind me and you go vegan. It's as simple as that. Guys, we're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid. You can go into the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner. You can click on the description and go to the Animal Aid report done on the FSA findings in the very facility behind me right now. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to these conversations. 3, if you don't care about animals, double tap the stream, like, share, subscribe. hit the bell notifications. Now, if you go to animalaid.org.uk, or if you click in that link in the description, you will go and see the report that they've done. Now, this report says that the FSA, if you don't know who the FSA are, the Food Standard Agency, they are the governing body of how everything's done in the food system. I say it quote unquote because I don't believe animals are food. If you believe animals are food, I suggest you check your head. The FSA govern everything, right? Well, guess what? The FSA come here and they've done their audit, their yearly audit in June. They come out with a general satisfactory overall with 6 major non-compliances and 18 minor non-compliances. Before I go on, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Now, the FSA, how can you come up with a general satisfactory summary with 6 major non-compliances, 18 minor non-compliances? Blows my mind why this place is still operating. Now, as of the 1st of November, when Animal Aid went over the data sets of Alex for Activism, there had been no change. The general satisfactory audit report summary spiked that there should have been another return from the FSA within 3 months to see if any of their major or minor non-compliances had been addressed. Guess what? The November data set showed no change. Why? 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to these conversations. 3 if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now, we're not here from a welfare point of view at all. We're here abolitionists. But what I'm trying to show you, the consumer, the good person with a number 2 heart, is that you should not trust these industries. You shouldn't trust what the FSA say. You shouldn't trust what the RSPCA Assured say. You shouldn't trust the Red Tractor certification. You should do your own research. And guess what? When you look into these things, you realize you've been lied to and humane washed into paying some of the most horrific violence to the most gentle beings on this planet. Sorry, did you have a hand up?
Yeah, someone's just gone vegan. Garrett Middleton's just gone vegan.
Amazing. Thank you for being a kind, compassionate person and extending that to the animals too. Please put a 1 in the chat if you're vegan and you've done the same. Please put a 2 in the chat if you're an open-minded, kind, compassionate person. If you're not vegan yet, put a 3 in the chat. If you don't care about animals, double tap the stream. The likes are really important, guys. Please make sure you like the stream. Now, we've been here probably around half an hour, and I believe that animals will be coming soon. We want to show you, the consumer, the animals as they come in. I'm stood right outside of the gate of a slaughterhouse. There is a truck inside there right now who have already dropped their victims off. They're going to be executed today for optional products. Dairy is an optional product. Beef burgers are optional products. Their body parts are optional products. They do not need to be on the supermarket shelves. Why are they on the supermarket shelves? Because most people go in and pay for it. When you pay, your dollars, your pounds, your currency is the biggest voting system that you have. And when you remove your vote for animal exploitation, it stops. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to these conversations, and 3 if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe, please, team.
Do you think it's terrible that that's even an option?
Yeah.
Like that's even an option for people to pay for this to happen?
There should never be an option to pay for exploitation.
Yeah.
But these animals have it the worst. I want to make a real specific point of saying this is the biggest injustice that the world has not only ever seen, but it's what the biggest injustice the world's seeing right now. The animal victims are not only victims, they're exploited at every inch of their life. They are then mocked for it. They are then laughed at. It's then considered funny to mock animals on the way to slaughterhouses to have their babies, their lives, their bodily autonomy, and everything taken from them. What is funny about it? If you were in their position, would you find it funny? I'm sure you wouldn't. I'm sure that if you're in the animal's position, your opinion on this would change dramatically. But you must empathize and you must put yourself in their position, because for them, this is very real. They are the victims.
Someone said you're exaggerating.
I'm not exaggerating whatsoever. I'm telling you the simple, clear truth. I grant you, it sounds extreme.
Yeah.
What I'm telling you sounds absolutely haywire.
It is.
It sounds crazy to think that humans have developed a system where we take innocent, sentient animals that are so defenseless that they can't get themselves out of these situations. We then farm them, force them into existence. We commodify them, we exploit them, and then we execute them to eat their bodies and their secretions. I get it. It's completely extreme. And when I describe it in the most simplest way, you're right, it sounds horrific and it sounds well out there. But let me tell you the truth. This is the basic truth. If you don't believe me, you go to Animal Aid website, go and look at the investigations. Go to our main channel, go and look at the investigations. Go to Joey Carlson's channel, look at the investigations. Go and watch Dominion on YouTube. See the reality and the truth for yourself. If you don't believe me, good. Go and then find the truth. Search this information out for yourself.
Do you want to explain to everybody the kind of people who work here, such as the person behind who danced as the animals went in?
Yeah, so there's a security guard right here. He's so triggered that as the animals went in a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so, he was dancing and singing and trying to play it off like it was absolutely nothing. This is what I say about when the animals are mocked in their last moments, on their way in to be killed, when they've had everything taken from them, on their way in to be killed, they are mocked and laughed at. Do we not have any empathy left as a species? Do the human race just not care? Have we become that conceited and dark that we laugh and mock innocent sentient beings in their time of peril? Really, have we come to this? I hope not. I hope not. I hope that we have a lot of twos, non-vegans with open, compassionate hearts, that when they hear and see the truth, they change. Put one in the chat if you've already made that change and you're already a kind, compassionate person to animals. Put two in the chat if you're a kind, compassionate person, but you're not vegan yet. Maybe you've never even heard about animal rights activism. Maybe you've never seen this message. Put number two in the chat. Spam the chat. Number three, if you are anti-vegan, and I'll tell you now, that is nothing to be proud of. If you're someone who's proud of exploiting baby animals, I wouldn't want the world to know that was my position. Please double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. Guys, we're here today. I want to keep reiterating this point because you may not have been on the stream earlier. We are here today not to clash with you. Our objective is not to roll you, to clash with you, to point fingers at you and come from a position of authority and say, I'm better than you because I'm vegan. That is not our objective. Our objective today is to come alongside you and say, listen, I was where you are once, and I was told the truth, and I was shown the truth. And with my compassionate, empathetic heart, I changed. Our objective today isn't to clash, it's to come alongside and turn your head against the industry who have lied to you. Most number twos who get angry when they hear an animal rights message is because they do care. And they get angry at the messenger, they get angry at the vegan because, oh, the vegan's making me feel bad because I want to continue to eat dairy, I want to continue to eat bacon. So the vegan's pointing out my hypocrisy and I'm angry at the vegan. But you know what? When that anger subsides and you realize that actually the vegan position is the baseline, it is ethical and moral, and you go vegan, that anger goes straight towards this industry, and rightly so.
That's so true. How's it feel being here? Like, what do you first see when you come to a slaughterhouse?
Being here absolutely sucks. This place is disgusting. Every time I go to a slaughterhouse, I turn up, my tummy is churning, my stomach feels like it's in knots, I feel sick, I feel sad, I feel my adrenaline pumps, I feel anxious. It's horrible because I know that I'm going to see some of the most horrific violence today. I'm going to see animals as they come past me here. I'm going to see their eyes and their ears and their noses. I'm going to see them. I'm going to hear them. I can hear them bellowing out from the layers right now. These are their last cries of help. When I come to these places, it absolutely breaks me as a person. And it rightfully should, because anyone with a kind heart, when they see this, breaks. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation. Three if you don't care about animals. But I want to just add, I come here for them because they need me to come here. They need me to come here and point a camera so that you, watching this live stream right now, can see and hear this message. They need me to come here so you can see the message and see the reality of the industry that you support if you're not vegan.
Someone was saying, is it easy to be vegan?
Absolutely. It's the easiest thing you'll ever do. And the reason why being vegan is so easy is because you focus on the animals at all times. Whenever I realize that is my decision going to influence an animal, is my decision ethically, morally okay for an animal, am I going to exploit an animal in that scenario? It's super easy to be vegan because I'm driven to make the right choice morally, right? Go and watch Dominion, go and see the reality and the truth. Go to the link in description, go to animalaid.org.uk, go and see the FSA report done by Animal Aid here, the report that Animal Aid done on the FSA report. Go and see these things. When you see these things, you have the education and then you have the knowledge, and knowledge really is power. But I urge you, the severity of it and the reason why we're talking so intensely is because the animals desperately need you to wake up and make that choice and make that action. If it was you in there, you would not accept slow change, slow little bit of thinking about it. You'd want change immediately.
Vegan Rebel, thank you so much for your kind super thanks. But animals feel pain. Stop animal cruelty and go vegan.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. Thank you very much for your kind super thank. Yeah, I just got a wave. Guys, they're killing here today, and the wind is blowing this way. Every 20, 30 seconds, you get a metallic, irony smell. It's the insides of them dear animals. Them animals that are no different to like big puppies. They're the same as your companion animals at home. How would you feel if this was your companion animal in here being slaughtered for milk, dairy, or any other products? I'm going to swap in with Mel, let Mel take over because that's really caught my stomach, that. Oh, gosh.
Well done, yeah. Like, guys, I really want you to think about the animals inside these places. When I watched Joey Carbstrong's investigation a couple of days ago, it rips my heart out so much. Seeing that poor cow, like, right, before I tell you what happened, number one in the chat if you're vegan, number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, number three if you're anti-vegan, double tap the screen and please subscribe. This poor cow, inside the knockbox, their neck was lifted up. The slaughterhouse workers cut their throat and they were suffocating and screaming out, looking up where the camera was, and I could see their eyes were blinking whilst I could see their blood pumping out their neck. They were screaming for so long, and you know what? The slaughterhouse worker was on his phone, social media, flicking through social media. The next thing that happened is horrific. Guys, number one in the chat if you're vegan, number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, number three if you're anti-vegan, double tap the screen and please subscribe. The next thing that happened, one of the other workers gave the guy on social media a knife, like tiny knife, and he sawed that cow's head off alive. This is what happens in these places of hell. Nothing good happens in a slaughterhouse. They tell you lies. You see this gate? It may as well have green grass on it, may as well have free range, organic. We love our animals, RSPCA and all that kind of stuff. It may as well have the propaganda lying to you. If you are not vegan, you have been mugged off, you have been brainwashed, you have had propaganda put upon you from birth. These industries want you paying their wage to do that horrific things to animals, like blending them up alive, cutting their heads off alive, forcing them inside gas chambers. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen and please subscribe. No human has ever gone through what those animals face. No human. None of them. We're against the oppression of humans too, but we do not pay for the oppression of humans. Animals need you today. They are having their heads decapitated for breast milk that was intended for their baby that they had ripped away from them. Cows are such maternal animals. They love their babies just like you love your babies. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three if you're anti-vegan. Double tap that screen and please subscribe. Anyone on here who's saying propaganda, do you think I'd wake up and come to a slaughterhouse out of choice? Do you think I'd be here dedicating my life to defend the animals out of choice? I have a purpose to fight for them because I used to pay for this. I owe the animals. I owe them everything. My life is now completely dedicated to defending the animals who I once oppressed, who I oppressed. Now you need to do that for you. You need to stop oppressing them on behalf of you. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three if you're anti-vegan. Double tap that screen and please subscribe. I'm not here to hate on you, by the way. I'm not here to hate on you. I'm extremely passionate. I'm extremely sad because behind me, animals are being stabbed in the throat. Stabbed in the throat. Babies, mothers, it's hell in there. And I'm begging you to change. I'm trying to educate you so you change.
Just want to take a moment to thank all the vegans in the chat here. I can see your names in there. Absolute legends. Thank you all so much for defending the animals in there. It's a difficult place out, chat room. It's moving fast, but everyone is doing an epic job. Let's get this stream as busy as we can. Animals will be coming here today, guys. What animals are coming here today?
Cows from the dairy industry, cows from the beef industry, grieving mothers and infants. They'll be coming in here today, inside this slaughterhouse of hell. Inside this slaughterhouse of hell that even has breaches on it as well. Go to the description and see the animal aid report that the FSA done on this facility. Have a look for yourself. Where animals are oppressed, there's always animal abuse, torture and murder. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three if you're anti-vegan. Anyone in this live stream right now, I want you to put in the chat things you may have seen farmers say. Like, I love my animals, free range. Let's see what you know about the industry. And vegans, tell them the truth.
Plains has just gone vegan as well.
Amazing.
See that in the chat there.
Thank you so much for going vegan. Honestly, when good people see the reality, when good people are educated, they change. Normal people, when they know, they change. It's the extreme morons who don't change when they know the reality.
Why is the industry never transparent with the consumer? Why?
Yeah, because if they showed you inside of a slaughterhouse, you wouldn't pay for it. The other day, when I watched Joey's investigation, I cried so hard the entire time I was watching that investigation. I cried hysterically. I felt sick to my gut. I could not contain the emotions because I couldn't believe that was happening. And I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen gas chambers, I've seen inside farms, I've seen inside slaughterhouses, I witness animals going in all the time. It's only rarely you ever see inside of a slaughterhouse. So thank you so much to Joey and the team for releasing that. He went, risked his life to show you the truth. So it's time you do something about it and act for the animals. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap that screen. Please subscribe. Behind me is a slaughterhouse.
People were saying that I could go vegetarian, but veganism's extreme.
Nah, vegetarian is extreme. Not being vegan is the most extreme thing you can ever be. Vegan is easy. When you watch Dominion, go and watch Dominion on YouTube and you see the eyes of your victim, is it extreme just to have a jacket potato? Was it more extreme? My fridge full of plants or your fridge full of dead bodies, corpse, periods, breast milk? So a sofa of someone else's skin, your shoes of someone else's skin, your makeup tests on puppies, rats, mice, monkeys. Or me who just doesn't pay for abuse, torture and murder of animals. Like, the most extreme person is a non-vegan. Vegans aren't extreme. We just tell you the truth, and some people think that's extreme, telling someone the truth. But if you think a vegan is extreme, then you should think every single school teacher is extreme as well, teaching kids stuff. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen and please subscribe.
The thing is, the bare truth is extreme.
Yes.
Like, it is. Like, there's no way to not make it sound extreme.
Maybe that's why people think vegans are extreme, because what we're saying is extreme.
Yeah.
Because what we're saying is about the industry, and the industry is extreme. Not the vegan, not the messenger, but people like to shoot the messenger because they don't know where to put their emotions. It's hard, right? It's hard to understand and realize that you're paying for the worst atrocities in this world. The biggest war and the biggest battlefield is you're paying for it if you're not vegan. It's so simple to be vegan and not harm anybody. It's so easy to live like that. Why the hell wouldn't anyone live like that once they know the truth? It's because the industries are lying to you and mugging you off to pay their wage.
Why do people not know that dairy cows only produce milk because they're mums?
Because they're not told. They're not told. Why do they not know that every single cow, every single animal they see in a field goes to a slaughterhouse? Like all babies, all animals are babies. Why do they not know that disabled babies are put in gas chambers that you call chicken breast? Why do they not tell you that? Why don't they tell you that they've been genetically modifying animals to lay more eggs than they should? In fact, we have a chicken right now at home from the egg industry who we're trying to help get back to health because she's suffering so much from the exploitation put upon her, let alone her brothers being blended up in a macerator, in a blender, because they were born a boy. Imagine if that was your son. Anyone on here who has a child, imagine if you had a son and they got taken and put in a blender because they wanted to steal your periods or your breast milk. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Double tap that screen and please subscribe. At Matt Slaughterhouse today, this is a real urgent, serious issue. You must change for the animals.
Who are we collaborating with today?
We're here today with Animal Aid. So they have done the report on the FSA report done here, where they found major and non-major breaches of this facility, not stunning animals correctly, misuse of equipment, meaning potentially, I don't know for sure, using equipment, wrong equipment to move the animals. I mean, we've seen a farmer here get out a stick from the back of his van and prodding the animals as they get off the truck. We've seen them as they leave the truck, they've fallen down. Like, all things that are horrific. But this place shouldn't exist in the first place. You can go and see that, by the way, in our description. Have a look for yourself at this place, what's happening here. And then there was a follow-up that happened. Nothing changed. They don't care. They don't care. All these places don't care about the animals. They care about your money. They want to hide what happens on the inside for your money so you can pay their wage. If you're against the abuse, torture, rape, kidnap, or murder of animals, you must be vegan. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Lisa. Well done. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to these conversations. It's free if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please like the stream. Let's get them likes over 100 before the next truck turns up. And let's go with these comments. Get the 1s in the chats. Spam them. 2s in the chat. Spam them, and 3s. Spam them. If you really are an anti-vegan and you don't mind the world knowing that you're a psychopath, put number 3s in there. Guys, we're here today outside of this slaughterhouse right now. A lot of the time we're out of here, people say, oh, is that a halal slaughterhouse? Go and protest a halal slaughterhouse. Is that a kosher slaughterhouse? Go and protest the kosher slaughterhouse. Why are you there? Why are you there? Any type of animal slaughter is unethical and immoral and wrong. We've watched that done. Religion, people say, oh, God said I can. Halal slaughter, the Prophet said we're allowed to kill animals that way. You can be any religion you like and vegan, therefore it's not mandatory to exploit animals in any religion. So there we go, watch that one out of the way. Religion, done. Social pressure, convenience and culture is no justification for the horrific violence put upon these innocent animals. That one's done. So with all of these excuses washed out the way, very simply, very easily, very fast, what excuses do you have left other than I like the taste and I want to? One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to these conversations, and three in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please like the stream, share and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications. Now, when you are only left with I like it and I want to, is that a good enough excuse? Would you accept that as the victim? If you were put in their position and someone said, yeah, I know all the ethical points that all these activists are making are true. I know they make a good point, but you know what? At the end of the day, I like it. So I'm just going to continue to do it because I can. How would that sit with you? Would you be okay with that? I'm sure you wouldn't. Now, why do we not grant the same respect to the animal? What is it about them that means that we don't respect them? We don't morally consider them? They're sentient beings. These animals have individuals. They are individuals. They're having a subjective experience of their own life. They have the ability to feel pain and suffer. Why don't we grant them this?
SCP said it's just survival.
It's not survival. You don't need to do this to survive. You're not in a survival situation. You've got options. If you've got a mobile phone to type a comment into this chat room, you've got enough options in front of you to live vegan, 100%. I'm in a survival. I'm a carnivore. We've always done it. We did it to survive years ago. We're doing it now. It's all a load of nonsense. When you go into your local supermarket, you have an option. Do you be violent towards animals, or do you remove your support for that system? This isn't survival. You're not in the wild.
Is a vegan just a diet?
No, veganism is not just a diet. Thank you for whoever put that comment in there. Veganism is an ethical position against the exploitation of animals. So we don't wear animals, we don't use animals, we don't exploit animals, we don't bet on animals, we don't test on animals. Animals are not commodified. Animals are left alone because animals are here with us. They're not here for us. Who do we think we are? Thinking that we can just do whatever we want with animals because we have dominion. We're bigger, we're stronger. We can use inventions to trap them, enslave them, forcefully breed them, execute them. Who do we think we are? If this was done the other way around, if an alien species came down and done this to humans, immediately the human race would be against it.
Oh, that's why I just saw body parts being tipped up over there.
Yeah, do you know what? That's
Stinks.
disgusting.
Stinks.
Oh my God. Body parts just tipped inside that container.
If we were meant to eat animals, we'd think, oh, that smells really nice.
Guys, one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to these conversations, and three if you don't care about animals. Please like the stream, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Like Mel said earlier, we're here today in collaboration with Animal Aid, and you can see Animal Aid's report done on the FSA findings back in June 2025 in the link in the description. You'll go there and you'll read that 6 major non-compliances were found at this very facility, ABP Guildford behind me right now, as well as 18 minor non-compliances. Major non-compliances. Guess how many days they were shut? None.
Yeah.
Guess how many animals kept coming through? Every single animal that was supposed to come through still came through. With 6 major non-compliances.
Can you imagine if that was any other business? Why do they get away with such brutality in here?
Absolutely horrific.
Criminal.
Because they're cows. No one cares, right? Wrong. We care. And this is why we're here, to stand up for them and to bring you, a compassionate person who does care, the reality and the truth. What chance do you ever stand of making the right decision when you're never given the information or the education based on the transparency to make the right decision based on your ethics? When you're told that the RSPCA Assured logo is a stamp of assurance to say that the animals are okay. When you're told that the red tractor certification means that the farmers are all okay. When you're told these lies, how as a consumer are you ever going to critically think about the status quo and outside of that box when you're conditioned not to? All it takes us to do is to come here with a camera, one lens, and point it in the direction of the slaughterhouse. All of a sudden, you got 3 security guards, you got multiple cameras, you got spike fences, you've got all of this netting up here, you got the secrecy and the smoke and mirrors in real time, live, outside of the slaughterhouse. Now, if that isn't shady, if that doesn't put a question mark on this for you as a consumer, I don't know what will. In fact, I do know what will. Go and watch Joey Carstrong's latest expose. Go and watch Dominion. Go and watch Earthlings. Go and watch Land of Hope and Glory. Go and watch Christspiracy. Go and watch all these documentaries out there. Go and watch the 3-minute movie challenge. Go and see the reality and the truth. All of this is there for you to see. Now, if you were the victim, how quick would you want someone to make that effort to educate themselves on what they're actually funding so they can make a decision based on education on if they want to continue to oppress you or not? I don't believe that when good people see the fact that they're oppressing animals, they continue to do it. I don't believe that happens. I believe when good people see the reality and the truth, they remove themselves.
Yeah.
This is why we're here today, not to clash with people, to turn your head against the industry.
It's just
to show
psychos
you
who
exactly.
don't.
Say again?
It's just psychos who don't change.
Yeah, you got no empathy. If you don't change for the animals, then you're lacking empathy, and that's a dangerous emotion to lack. Guys, one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to these conversations. They're free if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me tell you some facts whilst you're waiting for the next clock to turn up. People are so triggered here. You come here to defend baby animals from being hurt, and people swear, beat their horns, throw stuff. Come on, guys. Is it that triggering when we hold a mirror up to you and say, how does it look? Look at yourself in a mirror. How does it look? Is it comfortable to know that you hurt baby animals? Why are people so triggered? Because the reality hurts. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to these conversations, and free if you don't care about animals. Now, let me tell you some information. Let me tell you some facts. Did you know that over 20% of dairy cows are sent to the slaughterhouse pregnant because dairy cows are sold on how much they weigh? So they're executed with babies inside their tummies because they weigh more, they're worth more. The farmer gets the last little bit of profit out of them. The babies are just cut open on the embryo sac. They're left on the floor of the cold, dark concrete floor of a kill floor in this slaughterhouse. They just suffocate to death. Their mother will be hung up by one leg and have blood pumping out of a gash in her neck, watching her baby die as her life drains out of her. All of that for your yogurt, for your cheese, for your dairy chocolate bar. Is that really worth it? As an individual, can you say that that's really worth it? One in the chat if you're vegan. Two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation and why we're here today. Three if you're anti-vegan who believes that animals can be exploited in any way that you see fit. Please double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. Our objective today is to defend the animals, and we defend them by getting this message to people who care, getting this message to people who have empathy and have a heart. Because when you have empathy and a heart, you change.
It's going to show people who we've seen go into the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
The little baby.
Yeah, a little bow.
We took this. Alex Activism recorded this, and I screenshotted this picture outside of a slaughterhouse. Going inside. I've got the footage here. Babies. That's who you kill if you're not vegan. Babies. That's that slaughterhouse.
So this is the reality, right, guys? And the reality is that all animals executed in slaughterhouses are babies. Okay, piglets are 6 months old, dairy cows are 3 to 5 years old, egg-laying hens are around 18 months old, lambs under 12 months old, all babies, right? And that's the reality that the industry will never tell you. Meat chicken, 6 weeks, 42 days old. The industry will never tell you this, but let me tell you, even if them animals lived until a week before their natural death and then they got brought to a slaughterhouse, it's still an injustice. We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't go to all these residential homes and take out all the old people and execute them for pies, would we? No, we let people live out their life because we respect people. People have rights protecting them. Well, why don't the animals? Because if we focused on what we all have in common rather than what's different, we'd realize that there is no right way to exploit anybody. There's no right way to do the wrong thing.
Steve, I'm just going to show people this. Why do they wash down the trucks?
Yeah, listen, right now you're watching this worker here wash down a transport truck. Now that transport truck came in today and it had cows on there. Cows are obviously sentient beings. They have a central nervous system, fight and flight response. Whenever you've heard the term shit yourself or piss yourself, these are actual like biological terms. It's when the autonomic nervous system kicks in. It's when you get so scared that your body naturally dumps anything that's in your intestine or your bowels. It's an involuntary movement, and it's when you are so petrified, it just comes out because your body is in a state of survival so intense that you can't control your bodily movements. That happens on that truck.
Oh, stinks.
That truck is absolutely full of blood and poo, of wee and poo, because animals have come in here absolutely shitting themselves in fear. Now, that truck's been in there for an abnormal amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this has happened, but something that does happen often is you get downed dairy cows. Oh, guys, it smells so bad here. You get downed dairy cows on these trucks. Now, this is where they are exploited so extensively that they have nothing left in their bodies to even be able to stand. Sometimes walking onto that truck is the last little bit of energy they've got. The drive here in this long heat, hot, horrible conditions, standing on a slaughterhouse truck, being driven here is the last bit that just exhausts them to the point where they can no longer stand. Now, when they get here, if they can't get up and walk into the slaughterhouse, they come and get examined by a vet, and then they get executed on the truck. So there is also a potential that they're washing blood away. I've seen it in my own eyes. I've seen it at various slaughterhouses around the UK where they wash blood out of these trucks, where these dear animals are executed because they can no longer stand. Guys, I'm swapping with Mel. While we're swapping, one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to why we're here today, and three if you don't care about animals. Let us know.
Yeah, most people do care about animals. You know, like in your school, there's always a class clown that's the loudest, that never succeeds in life. That's the number threes who are just shouting. They're the loudest ones right now. There's good people who are number twos in the background, potentially not commenting, just taking it in. I'm here speaking to you. I'm here speaking to the good people of the world who have compassion, who have empathy, who are not like these number three weirdos. Guys, if you're number two, you can change today to being a number one. What that means is you go from being somebody who pays for the abuse, torture, kidnap, and murder of animals, or to a number one where you don't pay for that. It's as simple as that. You're either a good person. A vegan is someone who just doesn't pay for the exploitation of animals. And number two, maybe someone who loves animals but doesn't know the industry, and that's not your fault. I used to be a number two. I didn't know what happened in this industry until an incredible activist called Joey Carbstrong showed me the reality. I saw inside of a slaughterhouse, which is where I'm at today. I saw a mother cow from the dairy industry. A mother having her throat cut open, with two men there slashing into her throat. Standard practice, by the way. That's just what happens in the industry. But I saw her face, I saw the fear in her eyes, I saw how terrified she was, how much pain she was in. Bolt gun slash in the throat, bolt gun slash in the throat. She felt everything. The bolt gun is not for the animals, it's for the workers to make the animals less violent when they're trying to defend their lives. Guys, number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. Number three if you are anti-vegan. Double tap that screen. Please subscribe. We're not here to hate on you. We're just here to educate and defend the animals from the industries that lie to you. We're not against you. We're against the industries that do this to animals, that kill animals, that decapitate animals, that mutilate animals, that force animals into gas chambers at 6 months old. Yet piglets at 6 months old get forced inside of gas chambers. Joey Carbstrong again has done a documentary about this on Amazon Prime, and it's on YouTube. Pignorant. That's like ignorant, but pignorant. Because it's like people are ignorant to what goes on. They'll never have the motivation to change. So we've got to uncover that. All activists do, we go in with a camera and show people the reality. That's why we live stream, because I'm sick of hearing vegan propaganda. There's no such thing as vegan propaganda. It's the industry that made the propaganda. They spread rumors and lies into the public and make you guys hate vegans rather than hating the industry that stabbed them, that forced the knives into the necks of animals. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen and please subscribe. We're in collaboration today with Animal Aid, who have done an FSA report here. Please go into the description and see the report yourself. ABP Guildford, you'll see the FSA found that there was major, non-major breaches of this facility, not stoning animals correctly, misuse of equipment, hygiene issues. It's disgusting in these places. Guys, number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen. Please subscribe. By double tapping the screen, it really helps push your algorithm out. We've noticed the more likes, the more comments, etc. The more this goes out to people who need to see. Guys, I'm at a slaughterhouse today. Please stay on this live stream. Please. Oh, there's a truck coming in, guys, right now.
Big truck, big truck.
I'm going to try my best to get the animals. Oh, I hate this so much. I hate
Guys,
this.
one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan. Three if you don't care about animals. Oh my God, look how big this is. Look at the size of this truck.
I'm so
Oh
sorry.
my gosh. This is huge. I'm so, oh, you
So
big
sorry.
angels.
You need to leave. It's time you leave. We keep telling you what happens here. You're not leaving. You're hiding today. Coward. Absolute cowards, guys. This is a massive truck.
She looked
Poor
straight
cows.
at me. There was one individual looked straight at me as she
I'm just going
came
to look on,
past.
I'm just
Oh,
going to
it's
look on the
heartbreaking.
camera.
Guys, hearts in the chat for the animals. That truck was huge. They're going to back this truck up right here, right now.
Oh, my heart is racing because I'm so sad. Yeah, dairy cows in there.
Dairy cows.
It looks like so many of them crammed in. I can't see too well. They're facing the other way, a lot of them. And beef cows.
I'll concentrate on the camera, you talk.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the footage as I'm talking at the same time. Guys, number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. What you are watching right now is a truck full of poor animals going inside of a slaughterhouse. This is where they'll get taken into the dungeon, which I call a lairage. A lairage is a dungeon of hell where they get forced off. They get taken into sections. They'll probably have the farmers' names written outside the section that they are in. Then they will get forced into the kill line. They get forced into a knock box. They will face this big metal container around them where they cannot exit, they cannot go forward, they can't go back, they can't go left, they can't go right. They try and jump over it, they try and fight for their lives, but they're stuck. Then they'll be faced with a bolt gun in their head, in their skull. Goes straight into their skull, it incapacitates them, they fall to the floor. The animal still feels everything though, everything. This is not for the animals' sake, it's not because they care about animals, it's because they don't want the animals to fight back, to accidentally stab them, to stab the workers, rather than the cows. Because the cows fight for their lives, guys. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three if you're anti-vegan. Breaks my heart.
If this truck gets out of the way, we may be able to catch the offloading.
Is he looking like he's going to leave?
Yeah, he's just got in.
Scumbag. Every single person working in this industry, they have blood on their hands, but they can leave. Like we said, the last security guy left a few weeks ago. New security guy is there. He's still not left. Why hasn't he left yet? He's got blood on his hands from working in this industry. If they didn't have security, if they didn't have truck drivers, if they didn't have cleaners, if they didn't have people who would be willing to stab animals in the throat, these industries would collapse. But sadly, there is a minority of people in the world who are crazy psychopaths, in my opinion, who think it's okay to work in these places. So what we have to do as the public, we have to remove our support. We have to take the money away from these industries by living vegan. If they don't get your money to pay their wage, then the industry collapses. It collapses. In fact, my friend had someone knock on their door yesterday, asking them if they want to start buying cow's milk. She was like, no way, I'm against all forms of oppression to animals. And he was like, oh. And it's like, how old school is that? They're scrambling. They're scrambling to get money from you by sending people door knocking now because the industry is an absolute failure. They even get subsidies from your tax money to prop them up. Farmers are horrible scumbags who gets your tax money to continue their immoral, disgusting, evil, in my opinion, criminal activities to the animals. It's hell. Don't pay their wage. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three if you're anti-vegan. Likely on that truck, you'll probably see blood. You'll see poo, wee. You may see some cows downed, dairy cows, beef cows. But they're not dairy cows or beef cows. They're just cows from the industry that calls them a dairy cow.
That's
A cow
shaking.
is shaking.
Red truck is really shaking.
They're in so much fear. Imagine if you went to somewhere where you knew they were going to stab you in the throat, because cows can smell up to 5 miles away. They can smell the blood of others. They can smell the guts
They're
of
trying
others.
everything to hide, so you don't see.
Are they being even more sly?
There's other farmers not getting his trailer out of the way as well. I think he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, they're all scumbags. How do so many scumbags find so many more scumbags? Disgusting. Animals need you to defend them. You can see why. Right now, beautiful children, who are the animals, are inside these trucks. Childlike beings are around monstrous individuals, in my opinion, who are going to stab them in the throat, execute them, cut their head off, decapitate them, skin them alive a lot of the time. A lot of them will be pregnant as well. 20% of cows that go to slaughterhouse are pregnant. This place is breaches at this facility, criminals activity. Have a look at the FSA report done by the report on animal aid done where they report on the FSA. See for yourself what's been happening here. Why the hell is this still running? It's not even adhering to the basic animal welfare laws. Not that they're a thing anyway, because they're crap. No one prosecutes these kind of people. Nobody. It seems like they get away with it all the time. Guys, number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen and subscribe. I'm at Slaughterhouse. When I talk about they're not adhering to the basic animal welfare laws, I'm not here for welfare. Welfare is a load of crap. There is no way you can do this nicely. There is no ethical way to do this to animals, because there'll be no ethical way to do this to you. Put yourself in their position. This scumbag's about to come out. Last time they were laughing. This is what these disgusting people are like. They laugh at animals. They mock them. What kind of brainwashed individual said, yes, I'm going to drive animals to be executed? How brainwashed and deranged do you have to be to take someone to a slaughterhouse? Now, most people are not like these people. We're against these people, so the way I speak to these individuals is very different how I speak to you. It's disgusting. What you do is evil. You are evil. You're a monster. You're evil. Disgusting. See, he just swears at me. Larridge is open. Larridge is open. Let me know if you can see. I'll get my phone out. If not. So you're now going to witness these slaves being unloaded off into this dungeon of hell. You saw how the driver was swearing at me. Thinks it's okay to bring these poor childlike beings to a place where they're going to be decapitated. Their skin is going to be ripped off their body. Their blood is going to be shed on the floor today. These animals, sweet childlike beings, their blood will be on the outside today, on the floor of this place. How disgusting is that? How evil is that? Do not be the person paying these evil people to do this. The public do not know what happens, and that is awful in itself. Kids are forced to not be vegan and pay for this. Parents who have children who are not vegan are forcing their children who would call these animals their friends, they're forcing them in their mouth to eat. They're taking them to zoos. Look at them. But maybe you as a parent, maybe you as an individual don't know yet. That's not your fault. So I'm not here to hate on you. Just do the right thing by these animals and be vegan. Good people are vegan. People who are not vegan are either uneducated, lack empathy, or they choose to turn a blind eye. It's not good enough. These animals need you today. This is urgent. The whole time you're thinking about it, even if you're thinking, oh, you know what, they might be right. Steve, someone's calling me. I'm just going to, if you talk for a minute.
Yeah. Can we hug Mike?
Yes.
Okay, guys. So I'm holding this camera here. I'm holding it as steady as I can. Thumbs just coming back up. Yeah, I believe that there are more animals to come back off. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan and you are against what you're witnessing on the screen. 2 in the chat if you are not vegan but you're open-minded to why we're here today. And 3 if you don't care. How can you not care seeing these dear animals being led off this truck to their death? They've committed no crimes. They've done nothing wrong. All they have done is they've been born into the body of a cow. That's it. We focus on what's different between our species as an excuse or a reason to exploit and be violent towards them. How about for a second, you concentrate on what we have in common. Concentrate on what's similar. We're having a subjective experience of our life, so are they. We have emotions, so do they. We have families, so do they. We feel fear, so do they. We fear pain, so do they. We want to live, so do they. We don't want to be exploited, so do they. We want to be free, so do they. Is that not enough reasons to not do this to them? Now, if you're someone with an empathetic and compassionate heart and you don't want to be the reason that this continues, then being vegan is the least you can do. It's the first thing you do. We don't aspire to be vegan. It's the first thing you do when you want to remove your personal accountability. If you're not vegan, these are your direct victims. You may feel quite removed when you go to the supermarket and you buy animal products, or you go to the store and you buy a leather jacket, or you buy cosmetics tested on animals. You may feel quite removed, but you're not. The body parts that you pick up are the body parts of the victims that are walking inside this very building today. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Now, my blunt human nose is terrible, and I can smell the death in the air. Cows can smell up to 5 miles. You can only imagine how fear-inducing this must be for them. Poor, poor darling angels, poor babies. This is their last little bit. What you're witnessing on the screen right now, this is their last bit of sunlight. This will be the last little breeze that they feel. That little bit of wind you can see just brushing across the entrance. That'll be the last little bit of wind on their face. That's it for them. Last night was the last night they laid next to their loved ones and their family members and went to sleep. And today was the last day they woke up with the hope that potentially today could be the day that they're liberated and they get to live free of harm. Maybe they'll get to keep their next baby. Maybe they won't be tail twisted, punched, kicked, and forced. Maybe today someone will love them and consider them as the being that they are. Maybe they got on this trailer today with all the hope in the world that they were going to be free. But the reality is they've been betrayed. This farmer has betrayed them and he's dropped them off to this slaughterhouse here today.
Thank you.
1 in the chat if you're vegan, guys. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation and free. If you don't care about animals, double tap the stream. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let's get this out to the world. Let's get the world to see.
So that lady was in support. She was like, I always thought this might have been a slaughterhouse. I explained the industry. She was like, it's horrible and this needs to be shut down. She's actually part of the council. So super interesting. She's going to follow us and see what's happening here, to see the breaches. And she's shocked it's still open right now. Guys, what you're seeing right now are cows going inside this awful place of hell, which I call
Renee's given us a very kind snippet. Thanks, but I can't read it right now. This is the screen.
Renee, thank you so much.
Renee,
That's
I'm
so
going to read this
kind.
out the minute we come down from the animals. Thank you so, so much, Renee.
Just because the camera's high right now, we can only see a little bit. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. Are they still unloading?
I don't know. I can't see.
So many cows. I can see so many cows were coming off this truck. Dairy cows, beef cows, all infants. This has to end. If you're not vegan, you pay for this, but you can stop paying for this today. Live vegan, defend the animals. This is an urgent issue. It's a moral crime to not be vegan. Defend the animals. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2, no, they're still coming off there, Steve. Number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Let's see green hearts in the comments for the animals. Spam green hearts for those animals. Push this algorithm out so more people see these beautiful animals, seeing the light for the last time, seeing the sky for the first and last time, potentially. They're going to be stabbed in the throat. Every single animal that you are witnessing going in right now, they're all going to be killed. This place has FSA breaches too. See the breaches for yourself in the description that Animal Aid have posted about. Even if they were adhering to the basic animal welfare laws, it's still not okay. It's still not fine. It's actually hell. Animals get decapitated in these places. Like I said in Joey's investigation, poor cows. They were stuck in the knockbox. Their head was tilted up. The knife went in their throat and they were suffocating, bleeding out on the kill floor for so long. And then the worker got a tiny knife and cut the head off this poor animal. This animal was blinking the entire time. Their throat was cut. The camera was right above the knockbox. They look just like my dog, who I adore, just like our chickens, just like your family. They are no different to us in all the ways that matter. If you're not vegan, it's a form of racism. It's a speciesism, which means you treat someone different purely on the way they look, just like racism. It's not okay. Don't be the evil in this world. be vegan and defend the animals. We are not here to be someone who comes and lies or is preachy. We are here to purely tell you the truth, to put a camera up, live stream at these evil places that stab animals in the throat. People often think vegans are extreme because of what we say. What we say is the basic, standard, best standard way that the industry tells you they do this, stabbing animals in the throat, taking animals to gas chambers, forcing them inside pits of hell. Disabled baby chickens at 42 days old have been genetically modified to grow large in a short space of time. They then get sent to a gas chamber if they survive 42 days of their life in the farm.
Look. See what he's holding right there? See that stick with the red paddle?
What a scumbag.
Oh, God. Oh. Look, that come out of there, come out the side. What's that for, Lisa?
For moving the animals. They're often used by hitting the animals. Disgusting. The fact they even have things like that to maneuver the animals tells you everything about what the animal is thinking. They don't want to go inside a slaughterhouse. No one wants to go inside of a slaughterhouse. You don't want your throat slit. You don't want your family to be killed. You wouldn't want that. Stop paying others to do it for you. Number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number three, if you are anti-vegan, double tap that screen. Please subscribe. Can you see Renee's comment now? Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me get this comment.
Thank you, Renee, so much.
Renee, thank you so much. Renee's comment. Oh, 1 minute. It's gonna be. I feel like I'm gonna be sick. Hang on.
Yeah, no worries. Guys, behind me right now, there's a truck full of animals that have just been taken into the slaughterhouse. They're waiting to be killed right now.
Okay, Renee, all the animals that aren't being consumed automatically receive a very radical moral stance from the same people who troll vegans. It's curious how that works. It's almost as if people forget their values when it's comfortable. Yeah, 100%. People are so variable with their morals.
Yeah.
You know, like you're absolutely right. People can become chameleon as well, depending on their situation that they're in. But the animals need consistency. They need to be morally considered consistently because they are someone.
You're so right. Renee. So many people will be sat next to their dog or their cat or their loved ones, and they will protect them with everything that they have. Now, their dog, their cat, their loved ones is no different to the chicken, the cows, the turkeys, the pigs, the sheep, the puppies, the rats, the mice, the monkeys, who are all being oppressed. No different. Guys, number one in the chat if you're vegan. Number two in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number three if you're anti-vegan. I'm just going to switch in with Steve. Please double tap the screen and like it as well.
Yeah, guys. Okay, so what you've just witnessed there, guys, you have just witnessed animals being led off of that truck to their death. This is it for them. Today is over. Their life is gone. And the reason why their life is gone because people have demanded cheese, yogurts, chocolate bars made from her breast milk, their breast milk in their tea, burgers, steaks, and all these optional products. The demand for your money, you take your money to the supermarket and you demand that they get executed. Now, you may not feel that, you may not know that, you may be disassociated from that industry because the industry have indoctrinated you and conditioned you to be that way. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to these conversations, free if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. Now, from a very young age, you've been indoctrinated and conditioned to never question that system. But today we are here with a live stream camera, with our slow-mo camera to capture these individuals to show you that that system has a very real victim. That victim cannot defend themselves. They are completely at your mercy. They are at your peril. Are you going to be a good person and go vegan? Or are you going to continue to perpetuate this violence towards these innocent animals for optional products?
Hey there, Shami's just gone vegan.
Another vegan.
Let me know if you've gone vegan in the chat.
Amazing, amazing. We're getting so many messages, guys, of people going vegan because I truly believe the world is a majority of number twos. I know that the vegans aren't a majority yet because if the vegans were the majority, animals would have rights protecting them. The majority of the world are number twos, people who do care about animals, but they're not vegan yet. They haven't seen the vegan message. This is why we're here. This is why we do what we do. Guys, I want to take a moment for a huge thank you to every single vegan that's been in this chat, every single vegan that's defended the animals and for being in here, defending them with us. I want you to double tap the stream. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notifications. We do our best to defend these dear animals, the very animals that you've seen walking off to their death today. We're 50 meters away from them. I can hear their cries. I know for them that I couldn't save them today. My only hope of saving the ones tomorrow is if you, the person watching here, goes vegan and stops paying for this violence to happen. Guys, we're going to see you on the next live stream. Thank you ever so much.